You're just chilling in a quiet forest, minding your own business, when suddenly, boom! Out of nowhere, a small creature launches a toxic chemical attack that's enough to make even the toughest predator think twice. Meet the bombardier beetle, the walking tiny explosive expert of the insect world. Now let me tell you something that might blow your mind. The bombardier beetle is like nature's own little firefighter and grenade launcher combined into one. Seriously, forget what you know about cute beetles, this one means business. Imagine this. You're a predator, thinking you've got an easy meal in your sight. You think you're about to catch this beetle, and then it erupts in a blaze of heat and poison. It's like being hit by a mini flamethrower in the middle of the forest. Sounds like a superhero move, doesn't it? Well, the bombardier beetle is a superhero, but in the most terrifyingly effective way possible. So how does this beetle pull off this explosive trick? It all comes down to the chemistry inside its abdomen. Here's the science part. Don't worry, it's still cool. The beetle has two special chambers in its body where it stores hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide, two chemicals that, by themselves, are relatively harmless. But when the beetle feels threatened, it mixes these chemicals in a special chamber in its abdomen and triggers a chemical reaction that produces high-pressure gas in a superheated toxic spray. You're probably thinking, wait, toxic spray? How hot? Well, here's the kicker. The chemical spray the beetle fires off reaches temperatures of around 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's boiling point hot. Imagine getting sprayed by something that could actually cook you like a little insect soup. But the beetle doesn't just rely on heat, it also releases a toxic compound that's irritating to the eyes and skin of anything that tries to mess with it. Now the really crazy part, when the beetle releases its chemical attack, it can do so with precision. It's not just a random spray and pray situation. This beetle can aim its attack directly at its enemy, blasting them with this toxic, sizzling cocktail. It's like having an insect that's capable of launching an explosive, pinpointed strike at any predator, leaving them with no chance of escape. But how does this beetle even manage this explosion without blowing itself up? That's where the real magic happens. The bombardier beetle has a special valve in its abdomen that controls the release of the chemicals. Before the chemicals mix, they're kept separate. It's like having two explosive ingredients stored in separate compartments, making sure they don't react prematurely. When the beetle is ready to fire, the valve opens, and the chemicals mix, creating the explosive reaction that's ready to blast out. The beetle's body is specifically designed to withstand the intense heat and pressure of the blast, so it doesn't get hurt in the process. And don't think the beetle is some one-trick pony. It's not just about making an explosion. The bombardier beetle's precision and timing are key. If the beetle is facing multiple attackers or predators, it can fire off multiple bursts of this toxic spray, each one coming in quick succession. It can reload its chemical chamber in mere seconds and fire again, giving no chance for its predators to think they're getting a break. Imagine trying to mess with a creature that can turn up the heat on you every time you come closer. What's even more impressive is that these beetles can defend themselves even when they're on the move. They're capable of shooting this explosive spray while running, jumping, or flying away. Think of it like a high-speed escape with a built-in booby trap. It's one thing to run away, but it's another thing entirely to leave a trail of explosions behind you for anything chasing you. And get this, the chemical spray isn't just a defense mechanism against predators. It's also used during fights with other bombardier beetles. That's right. These beetles have territorial disputes, and they don't hesitate to use their explosive abilities to fend off competition. It's like a mini war zone among beetles, where every move could be the difference between a bite and a blast. Now, you might wonder, how on earth did the bombardier beetle come up with this crazy defense system? Well, nature's been tinkering with its evolutionary design for a long time. The beetle's ability to develop this kind of defense is the result of millions of years of natural selection. In a world where predators are everywhere, this beetle had to adapt, and boy did it adapt in the coolest way possible. It's the tiny tank of the insect world, and it's here to stay. But here's the thing. While we might look at this beetle's explosive talents as the ultimate defense, the bombardier beetle isn't invincible. It still has to deal with some predators that have figured out how to avoid its chemical attack, but the beetle's ability to fire with accuracy and precision is its greatest asset. A hungry predator might think it's got a meal, but one explosive spray later, and it's likely to rethink its lunch plans. And just in case you're wondering, this defense system is not just for show, it's a real survival strategy. Bombardier beetles live in a world full of hungry predators, and this explosive spray is often the only thing standing between them and being someone's dinner. It's like having a superpower that's been fine-tuned over time to keep you alive. So let's take a moment to appreciate the genius behind the bombardier beetle's defense mechanism. It's not just a cool party trick. It's the difference between life and death for this little insect. In a world where every creature is either trying to eat or be eaten, this beetle has figured out how to play the game with some serious explosive style. And one final thing, don't try to mess with the bombardier beetle. It's not a creature you want to cross because its explosive defenses are as efficient as they are terrifying. This little beetle has evolved the ultimate weapon in the animal kingdom. The next time you see one of these creatures scuttling across the forest floor, remember, it's not just walking, it's walking with power. So yeah, the next time you spot a bombardier beetle, give it some space. You wouldn't want to end up in the blast zone of its toxic, sizzling defense system. This beetle is basically carrying around a mini weapon of mass destruction, and trust me, you do not want to be on the receiving end of that. And before you go, if you're down to see more crazy creatures with jaw-dropping survival skills, hit that subscribe button. Help me hit 100 subscribers before the month's out. If we hit that goal, I'll be out here doing even more wild stuff. So don't miss out. Let's make this year a total win.